Hey folks, we're back, and on the line with me is the chairman of Northampton County, Pennsylvania, Lee Snover. Now, let me just say this before we get her into the conversation. Last night, you all know that Bernie Sanders held a town hall. Well, Fox News, I call it, held a free hour, campaign hour for Bernie Sanders in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which is Northampton County, last night. Lee, how are you this morning?
I'm doing okay.
All right, well, you guys, let me show first, number 23, Josh. You guys assembled a great group yesterday out front there. We've got one of your pictures up there. You said about 130?
Yes, 130 people for Trump, and it was a no socialism rally.
130 people, no socialism rally. Well, let me say this first to you. And
no press coverage. None, not even local, not even a blip.
You didn't get any press coverage at all?
No, none. No, they wouldn't cover us. In all the local news today, nothing. Just like a one sentence. Trump supporters were there. I think that's what they're going to do in this next campaign, is they're going to totally omit us. We're going to be blocked out. There were no coverage, and it was huge. I mean, it was huge. We have a concrete truck, a brand new concrete truck. It says "Make America Great Again." We had 150 people. We were filled with enthusiasm, and no coverage, zero.
Josh, put up number 22. This is the I got on the screen right here the concrete truck. Whose concrete truck is this?
They're called Kohler Concrete. They're from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and that's a brand new truck they had painted.
So that's Kohler Concrete from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and they had this truck painted "Make America Great Again."
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's really beautiful.
So you had that truck out front, 130. You had a $250,000 truck, 130 people, and another thing I noticed. I want to take my hat off to you because I want to tell the audience this. What is interesting. Is the media will run if 10 people. 10 people have banners up that are waving it, that are socialist Democrats, and they will claim a massive rally or they will claim a protest broke out, even if there's 10 people. Two, go back to the picture of the group, Josh, before we get a little deeper. This is a northeast, all right, Pennsylvania, cold April, wet, windy day. Freezing. I got it. And none of your supporters there for Trump are paid by George Soros to come out and hold signs.
Right, and we had a 90-year-old woman turn out and stand there for an hour and a half. 90 years old.
Okay, well,
Trump.
Let's talk about that. You got no press conference coverage whatsoever, but they had Bernie Sanders come in. What do you make of Fox News bringing Bernie to Bethlehem, why do you think they picked Bethlehem, Pennsylvania to bring Bernie there?
Because I tell you what, I don't trust any of the media, including Fox, to be out to make Trump one-term president. And I think that that's the ultimate plan, because Bernie's going to be in other parts of Pennsylvania this week. And I think that they're starting early to make Pennsylvania is going to be the #1 state. Even this morning, I heard the news saying Trump can't win without Pennsylvania. It's the #1 state. And I think that they're going to showcase all the Democrats here. They need to rebuild the Democrats here nationally or on a federal level, because that's where we can win elections. And that's what they're doing. And I'm Fox free. I mean, I'm not saying I won't watch it when the campaign gets heated up, but I don't watch Fox at all, because I've been watching little by little them starting to turn to the left and showcase more and more Democrats in a positive way.
All right, so they picked Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. They used the backdrop of Bethlehem steel to create a narrative there and to create a visual. Did you get?
Yeah, because it's a working man. They want to make it like, well, Bernie Sanders is for the working man, and there's nothing that represents the old working man more than Bethlehem steel. It's iconic for that. Yeah, and here's what they told the state party. The state party contacted Fox about our rally outside, about getting coverage. And you know, Fox had instructed every single media there, all the other media, not to cover the outside. They said, no, Fox told us that they have their media in control and that they're not to be doing that. So it was pre-planned not to cover anything else but the town hall.
So wait a minute. Okay, all right. Let me get this. And I'm just recapping. When you say the Pennsylvania Republican State Committee contacted Fox News to let them know that they would be supporters outside, just showing their support for Trump and anti-socialism, and Fox said, thanks but no thanks.
Exactly, because here's what they said. It's not a presidential event, it's a Fox event. So we're kind of in control of it, and we don't want the media covering that. So the media that they did allow there, they instructed them to cover, I guess, just certain things, and we were not to be covered.
Okay, so let me ask this, because Fox did open up last night. Before we get into some of the things that Bernie Sanders said, do you know any of the? Did you know any of the participants inside? And did any Republicans go in?
Yes, let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, go there.
Northampton County was blocked out from that. Northampton County was blocked out. The participants any Republican participants were from Lehigh County, which is a blue county. Our neighboring county is a blue county that went for Hillary, and they took the Republicans from there. Any of the Republicans I knew from Northampton did not get in, and we all applied for tickets. No Republicans from Northampton County were showcased. Fox selected everyone from Lehigh County. The Lehigh County chairman was specifically contacted from Fox and got in. Fox contacted him. No one contacted me. No one from Fox, nor anyone on our committee.
Let's recap, folks. Just keep this conversation. We're on the phone with Lee Snover. She is the chairman of Northampton County, Pennsylvania Republican Committee. She applied to get into the Bernie Sanders town hall yesterday. And Fox did not respond to you, is what you're saying. But the county next to you that did go for Hillary Clinton, they called and invited that chairperson.
Right, they emailed it and gave him before it even went public, they personally invited him. And he's a brand new chairman. He wasn't there when Trump ran. He's an unknown, but for some reason they searched him out and they did not include me, nor others on our committee, which we had hundreds of people apply, and they did not get in. But all the Republicans that went in, they were moderates from Lehigh County. That's who got in.
Tell people where Lehigh County is, because we've got several national viewers, but our biggest base is Georgia down here, which trust me, if you pay attention, the blue Democrats are trying to really drive a wedge in our state here. Don't you think they're not?
I've been watching that. We've been seeing that.
But tell us where Lehigh County is. Why you're making reference to them?
The Lehigh Valley, is an hour from New York and an hour from Philly. We're between New York and Philadelphia, and Northampton County is a blue collar, lower income. And we're closer to the New Jersey line. The Lehigh County is going towards Philly. It's one county over. We're a neighboring county, but it's going a little further south towards the Philly, what they call the ring counties, which is very moderate, moving very moderate. And that's where Fox took the participants from Lehigh County.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Let me switch gears to before we get into what took place in the town hall. All right, well, first of all, we always say to you every time we have you on, congratulations to the Republican Party in Northampton County and all your help. I know you have so many great people that help and work with you in the party. You guys did an awesome job turning that county red for Donald Trump, and actually you're right up there for the reasons, your county, for the reasons Pennsylvania flipped, and two, the guy is President of the United States. That being said, that's a whole lot of pressure. Now it's time to retain it. So the win is over, and making it happen again. So tell us, you got some game plan laid out. How does it look, and what's the feel of the area that you're dealing with?
Okay, the Trumpers are just as energized as they always were. I have absolutely no problem turning the same people out we had before. So I feel good with the base. I have to expand, or I need to hold the independents and the working Democrats. They need to convince them, or we need to show them or educate them on how great the economy is and how America is better and how America's moving in the right direction. We need to keep a positive. If you notice, if anybody watched, the first thing Bernie Sanders did is try to point out a lot of negatives. He started back with all the people that are uninsured and all the people that are in poverty, and they want to paint the negative, and we need to do as much as we can to keep painting the positive. They want to scare people in to, to the socialism, to more government. But my base is as strong as ever. I need to keep the light Dems, and I need to keep the independents. Here's a significant thing I don't think that's been pointed out. When Bernie Sanders ran, remember they were saying he got as big as crowds as Trump, he got 22,000 and this and that. There weren't any Bernie people outside. I mean, you had to get a ticket to get inside, but where was all those Democrats for Bernie? Where were the millennials for Bernie? Where were the buses for Bernie? There weren't people lined up outside to meet him, to try to get a photo. There was nothing outside for him.
So like a Trump rally, there was no overflow crowd.
No, there wasn't anyone. Like if you go to a Trump thing and you can't get in, people still go to get a glimpse of him or try to get a photo or meet him outside, or you know what I mean? There was nothing for Bernie. There was nothing outside.
Well,
they didn't organize one thing.
That's a very big valid point, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because we still have on the screen the picture of your rally yesterday. And again, not to be redundant, but I tell you what, folks, unless you have put on the winter coat and pulled the drawstring around your face and held the sign in a blistering wind, I just really got a lot of respect for those people that came out and did that yesterday.
The wind was so strong, it was ripping the signs right in half when you were holding them.
Actually, I got a couple pictures of the one guy that his signs all tore up. But I guess where I'm getting at is the point is there wasn't a single rally outside cheering Bernie on.
No, there weren't like a bunch of college students. I mean, you're right. It was like walking distance from Lehigh University.
Got it.
Walking distance from Lehigh University. Okay? No college students, no buses, no signs for Bernie, no banners for Bernie. I didn't even smell any pot being smoked. So there was nothing going on for Bernie.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me ask you something. Why does this, and I say this because I call, a fact is a fact. This is a 78-year-old Jew. He's from Brooklyn, okay? What's the appeal to this guy with young people? What do you think is the appeal with Bernie Sanders and young people and his base? What's the appeal to this guy?
The appeal is the word free. He's a grandfather. He's going to give them everything for free. They're not going to have to work for it. And, so I think when, all he says is free healthcare and free education. And if you think about that, those are really big ticket items. Think about it. If you got free education and free healthcare, all you got to do is, what I mean? That's so much already paid for, and those kids can't resist it. Just the thought of it. But he was comparing it to public education, running it like public education. I don't know about in Georgia, but our public education in Pennsylvania is not very good. That's why people mop floors and kill themselves to send their kids to private school if you live in the Northeast, because the schools are no good here. All they are is union Democrats. That's all the schools are run with. So I wonder if they want to take over the medical industry to make it one more big union in America. So anyway, but we need to convince the millennials that, all the posh things they have in life. They live in these posh apartments with these huge, high-end amenities and drinking their Starbucks and carrying their iPad. None of that's going to be available to them in a socialist country. Socialist country doesn't have disposable income. They don't have the amenities Americans have. And I just think we need to educate the millennials. We haven't done a good job, explaining and educating to them this stuff isn't free. And if you want you want all these items, you got to have capitalism.
Well, I want to tell you, I agree. I agree. You got a couple more minutes because I got to ask you something else. I agree 100%. I couldn't agree more that Fox News. Now, I watch all the networks. I watch Morning Joe every morning at 6 a.m. I don't miss Muskrat Minka and Muskrat Joe. I watch CNN every morning at 4 a.m. I watch Fox every morning. I watch all the networks. And what I tell people is, they say, why do you watch Morning Joe? I watch Morning Joe because I'm keeping up with the enemy. I study the media, and this show here that I do is basically a study of the media every day and keeping up with the enemy and what they're doing. It's not because I enjoy it. So I tell people all the time, don't get messed up with Fox. Don't think Fox is on board. I tell them all the time, there's a couple shows, a couple people, but outside of that, the network in a whole. Let me tell you something. When you hire Donna Brazil, that stole, worked for CNN, that gave the questions to Hillary Clinton, and that's just the beginning. When you hire somebody like that, whatever. Okay, who on the Democrat list concerns you? Now you're in with the State Republican Committee. You know people, you know the circles, and you know who's being talked about. When it comes,
I tell you what, in Pennsylvania, it's Joe Biden, and I'll tell you why. He's acceptable. Okay, he's from Pennsylvania. Number one, that's concerning. He's from Scranton area.
Did you hear? Wait a minute. Did you hear he was up in Scranton like last week or whatever with a film crew?
Right, and do you know what? They've done polling in Pennsylvania, and the Democrats are going to be really smart. They don't care whichever Democrat can beat Trump, they're going to get behind. Now, they're not going to go with ideology. They're not going to get crazy for one or the other. They're going to go based on the polling of which one polls higher to beat Trump. And in PA, it's Joe Biden because he's acceptable. He's acceptable. He's not extremes. And in their opinion, he's not an extremist. He's mainstream. So I'm concerned about that in Pennsylvania. Overall, I'm not concerned about Joe Biden. But in Pennsylvania, I'm concerned about Joe Biden.
How about nationally? What candidates nationally? And it's a long way out. I think the first debate stage will start filtering these Democrats. But with all of them coming out and running, which ones are the ones that concern you the most nationally?
Gee, that's a tough one because there's so many right now. I don't know. I know that Bernie and Joe Biden have the best polling, but I don't. You always have to worry about the dark horse. Remember with Clinton, he was a dark horse. You know what I mean? He wasn't even ahead in the beginning.
I think he lost New Hampshire, right? The first.
Right. So I don't think it'll be Biden and Bernie. I think it's going to be someone else.
Well, I'm watching all the networks, especially MSNBC, all the networks, including Fox. And I call it the creation of a candidate, Pete Buttigieg, the South Bend, Indiana mayor.
Yeah, but the thing with Buttigieg is only because he's gay, because they believe in identity politics. We have to have a woman president. We have to have a black president. We have to have a gay president. Next, we'll have to have a dwarf. I mean,
we have to have what next?
Where does it end? A dwarf.
Nah, you didn't say a dwarf. Oh, hell, you didn't say that's a...
Wait, identity politics is out of control.
I got to write down dwarf for president.
Wait, he will serve a short term.
He will serve a short... What the hell? What?
Wait, and get little done?
He will serve a short and get a little done?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's enough. Listen, I will say this, the joke that I make all the time.
But that's my joke for identity politics, because I'm sick of hearing we need a gay president, we need a woman president, we need a black president. No, we don't. We need a qualified merit president. And that's why I bring up the dwarf to show how ridiculous it is.
Well, I keep saying, I keep saying Spartacus up there from New Jersey. What is his name? The senator from New Jersey.
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. I keep saying if all Cory has to do is come out. I mean, and say he's gay and get it over with, and he checks off. Look at all the check marks Cory's got. If he'll just come out and say he's gay, man, he's black.
Yeah,
gay.
One of our signs yesterday was stop identity politics. Because it's all they want to do. They want to showcase everything, one of everything. Got to have a gay, got to have a woman, got to have a black. I mean, no, we don't. We just need someone who's qualified. That's what we need.
Well, obviously, you have to know your opponent. You got to, obviously, you got to know your opponent. So a lot of it right now is hurry up and wait. Do you guys hear anything from your committee there? Because you are an important county, and you guys got an important voting block there that has to happen again for the president. Do you guys hear anything from the National Party? Is there anything coming down from the National Party as far as any planning or any discussions or anything?
I know they're spending a great deal of time planning. They really are, and they were actually involved yesterday. The state party was helping me. They were helping me get the word out, and they were helping me with the press. And so I know that they're working closely with Trump, and they're going to be heavily involved. Now, my concern is Pennsylvania hasn't been winning recently on the statewide level. We have a little bit of never-Trumpers in the state party that kind of keep disrupting our movement, and we're spending a lot of time pushing them back. So we have a little bit of our own division in the Republican Party. And, you know, when you're in the Northeast, you do have never-Trumpers. They don't go away. And they tend to have money and they have power, and they come out of Philadelphia. So we spend a lot of time pushing them back. But, you know, I know that they're working closely with Trump, and Trump is doing everything he can to win the state. I sometimes wonder, though, if Trump doesn't know who exactly in Pennsylvania are the right people he can trust. I don't know who has his ear, and that very much concerns me that he doesn't know who the right people are on the ground. And I wouldn't want him to get hoodwinked.
He actually was as much a liberal and a Democrat as the congresswoman you have now. You lost Charlie Dent, and your district went blue with a Democrat. Do you stand any chance? Do you have a candidate ready for 2020 to go up against the Democrat in your district for Congress?
You know, I don't have anyone at this time, but everyone is running, and I think that's a mistake. You know, there's already been, I mean, I know like 6-7 people are running for that spot in the Republican Party. And out of that 6 or 7, I really don't even think the right candidate's in that group. I think it has to be, in my opinion, it has to be a really good candidate to beat this woman. Now, she was just recently elected, and the first term is the best time to take them out. She's not really qualified. She wasn't that great a candidate. It was the money. I mean, she just had so much money she couldn't even spend it all at the end. But we don't have the right candidate yet. We're working on it, but we don't have the right person yet.
No, well, the reason I brought that up, and our viewers, you may not know out there, this district in the what district is Pennsylvania House district? What district are you in?
We're the 7th now.
7th district. But,
yeah.
And those out there that don't know that Charlie Dent, the Republican, which again was really a Democrat, they lost that district. And the reason I bring that up, Lee, is because the simple reason is I feel it's just as strong to have that candidate. So when you go vote for president, you don't have to split that vote. And that's
right.
And that's why I brought that up, is hopefully you had a candidate that would be on there, and there would be no vote splitting, and it would be, you know, a little more power there.
Well, my problem is Charlie Dent is still around, and he's really working against us. He's keeping the Republican Party locally divided. He's keeping, you know, all the never-Trumpers and moderates, you know, funded, and he's really, you know, pushes against Trump, pushes against any Republican that supports Trump. So it's, you know, I have a lot of power in the Lehigh Valley against our candidate. So that's a problem. I mean, you know, word is he was supporting the Democrat, and he was on the phone with her all the time. So, you know, it's hard in this area because the Republicans and Democrats, there's not much difference.
Okay, the last thing, and I can't thank you enough, but I do want you to share something with our viewers that they need to hear from you, that they hear from me, but they need to hear from someone else on the ground. In Georgia, in 2016, and this I tell people, in 2016, Georgia, we lost 11 state races. The Republican Party in the state of Georgia lost 11 seats in the House, okay? And we're I forget how many seats away from losing our majority in Georgia. And I'm serious. They are working hard, Democrats in our state. Now, one thing that our politicians tell the voters is, hey, you do not want them to have the House in 2020 when it comes to redistricting. Tell our viewers what happened in Pennsylvania briefly, but how big a detriment to redistricting and how that really happens and it changes things.
Oh, it's horrible, and you have to do everything you can to maintain your state house, your state senate, and your court system. because the Democrats are going into states and finding a loophole and finding a way to disrupt the redistricting. They actually took control of our Pennsylvania courts, and the maps that our Republicans drew, they had thrown out, and they took the power, and the courts drew. The Democrats on the court, the court of Pennsylvania, the state court, the state Supreme Court redrew the maps themselves, which is illegal in our Constitution. And there was no one to challenge them because there was no higher court. And the U.S. Supreme Court did not take the case. So our maps were redrawn by Democrats, even though we had Republican power. They are doing this everywhere. They're going into Colorado. They're going into Texas. They did it in North Carolina. They have this group, and they're not going to let you know about it and know who they are. They're going into the state and finding a way to redraw your map and then make it hold up in your court. And then the U.S. Supreme Court's not taking the case. Be very careful. Do not be complacent, Georgia. Do not be complacent. Do not assume you'll always be Republican. You have to be out there working all the time to make sure they don't infiltrate your area. You need to make sure you maintain your state house and your court system. It's a horrible outcome if you let them take control.
Hey, thanks a lot, because I'm going to tell you, if you're here, you're going to hear that all the time, and people, I know a couple people that are sounding the alarm across the state, saying, people, you better make sure we stay Republican in Georgia. Look, thank you very much.
And they took North Carolina, and now they're after South Carolina. I'm getting a lot of reports South Carolina's turning. They're infiltrating South Carolina. They're infiltrating Texas. They act innocent, and they're almost like people that freaking go around and witness. They're turning people and turning people and turning people, and making them it's okay not to be Republican in a strong Republican area. So you don't be complacent, Georgia. Be vigilant.
Well, they come in, and they come in under the guise that they're for transparency in government, and everybody's vote counts.
Right. They're not going to tell you I'm a Democrat from Soros. No, they're going to come down, and they have slogans. Okay, it's going to be like Georgia for all.
Yes,
Georgia for the people. Georgia for the people.
I got it, man.
Save Georgia. Georgia for better government. Watch those.
Georgia for better
slogans.
government. I'm got it. Georgia for the people. I met these people. I get it. You're 100% right. That's their campaign.
Be careful. Those are the slogans they use, and Republicans follow right behind them.
Yes,
thinking that's a good thing.
Sounding like it's a transparent committee.
You need to get all the Republican Party in Georgia to sound the alarm, all the way up to your state party.
All right, well, thanks for weathering the storm yesterday, and we're going to be talking to you a lot as the election comes up, because we know you guys got a big job, and I want to give a shout out to your entire group, because I know you have an entire group there that works so hard behind you there, and you guys are doing a great job, and not too much pressure, but we got to win another one. All right.
I know, we're on it. All right, Trump 2020. Goodbye.
All right, have a nice day. Okay, folks, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, break that down a little bit, and then I'll be a little transparent when we come back. How about that? I'll be transparent. Let's take a break, Josh.